My husband's sister moved in with us after a major argument about the baby's name. They're expecting and she's 7 months in. She's known to be picky and refuses to eat what we normally cook. We only cook her favorite food, which I can't eat, allergies yay. Every day at dinner I have to figure out what to eat since she only eats food that I'm allergic to. Last night, my husband agreed that he'd cook for her and cook for us together separately. I got home after a long day at work and found out that sister-in-law convinced my husband to only cook the meal she wanted and cancel on the meal we planned to have. I saw them eating together in the kitchen. My husband apologetically said his sister convinced him to eat with her and not cook the meal I wanted us both to have. I said it was fine, then went to order some food from the restaurant. I went to take a shower and did some work on my laptop, then came downstairs to find my order placed on the kitchen counter. It was open and someone ate the majority of it. I turned around and there was sister-in-law standing saying she woke up hungry and couldn't resist the smell that was coming out of the box. I lost it and yelled at her asking WTF she did that, but she said that she did save me some, which isn't true because there was only some rice and dressings. We started arguing and I told her I couldn't take this anymore and told her to pack her shit and leave first thing in the morning. She began crying and my husband got involved and defended her up and down, repeatedly saying she's pregnant and is eating for two basically. He suggested I go make myself something quick from the fridge and let it go, but I refused and a bigger argument ensued. I'm a fool for kicking her out over this. The background is a little complicated, sorry if it's confusing. My husband John was married to his first wife Anna for 7 years. Anna was a single mother to Maddie, and when Maddie was 10, John officially adopted her. Anna sadly passed 6 years ago and it was just John and Maddie until I met John 3 years ago. We married last year. Maddie does not like me, has not since day one, and I've never been able to work out why. I tried to let our relationship develop on her terms since she was nearly an adult when we met, but she was not interested and made it clear she had no desire to know me. It seems to me that she simply did not want John to move on, but I'm not in her head so I can't be sure. Maddie still lives at home while she attends school and she finds a way to comment and insult nearly everything I do. Her big thing is food. I had a severe ED starting in middle school, and while I'm better as an adult, I've retained some odd habits. I've never told her about this, but I think she noticed how much food comments bother me and has gone full throttle on commenting on anything food related that I do. I try to keep how much it annoys me to myself since that seems to be her motivation, so why confirm it for her? Unless I'm eating a meal with another person, I really don't eat traditional meals. I prefer a smattering of whatever appeals in the moment. Today, it was cucumber, raspberries, hummus, a meatball, leftover sagaloo and some bread. I don't like when food from different categories touch, so I spread it out over 4 small side plates. I also had a hot tea, water and a small juice in 3 different glasses. It might be weird, but I'm the one doing the dishes, so who cares? It's not the first time Maddie has commented on that particular habit, but I was having a bad day with work and it just got under my skin. She made a remark on how fucking weird I was and, no wonder you're so fat, look at all those plates. For the record, I am still barely into a normal weight range, I am not fat. And I kind of lost it and told her that I will never give a shit about her opinion, and unless it was an emergency, maybe she should just not speak to me at all anymore. She's not a child. I'm not dealing with an adult treating me like that anymore. Maddie texted John about it, who called me and asked what happened. I told him and he is upset with me for telling her not to speak to me anymore. I haven't been open with him on how often she does this, which is my mistake, but I'm wondering if I went too far in telling her to not talk to me at all. My husband, Mike, is the eldest in his family. He's pretty close with his sister Beth, and they spend almost all week together. Beth had issues with her father growing up. She went no contact with him after he took her first car and damaged it. She only remained in contact with Mike since everybody else judged her for going no contact. She's getting married to her fiancé of 3 years. From what I understand, she and her dad are slowly getting reconciled, but she made it clear she wants him to take no part in the wedding. She asked Mike if he could walk her down the aisle and he agreed. I have to say that I was taken aback and it felt a bit odd for me because, her dad is alive, they're on speaking terms again, he's gonna be there at the wedding, so the logical thing to do is have him walk her down the aisle. This role isn't for her older brother but her father. Not to mention how SIL will feel about it. I brought this up with Beth and she had an attitude and implied that I was just saying this and objecting because of how I feel about the situation, not how our traditions should be practiced. We got into an argument and I went home. Mike thinks I'm being unreasonable and possibly causing him to miss something so sentimental, and that if anything, he feels honored to be asked to do this for her, and said that I should stop worrying about what others might say. Now we're having this conflict, three of us, and cannot seem to reach a solution. I come from a very sex-positive household. My parents taught my sister and I about sex, sexuality, and their non-vanilla lifestyle from a young age. They were very affectionate and touchy with each other in public and didn't, and still don't, seem to care about others' opinions. They lived a very non-conventional lifestyle and weren't afraid to flaunt it. On one hand, my parents never treated sex as a shameful subject, therefore, I received a very comprehensive, inclusive, form of sex education. On the other hand, I think I was introduced to many topics at a very young age. In many ways, my sister, Angie, turned out like my parents. She proclaims that she's sex-positive, and has no qualms with openly discussing sex in great detail at every opportunity. She believes that if a person is uncomfortable, they must be a conservative virgin who clearly hates all forms of self-expression. Her words, my wife, Zara, isn't a huge fan of PDA. Other than hand-holding or occasional kisses on the cheek. She isn't comfortable with doing much in public. We're also not the type of people to discuss our sex life with people, much less family. Angie doesn't like Zara. She believes that Zara is too conservative for our family. She often makes fun of Zara for looking embarrassed when she's discussing, in excruciating detail, about sex. Zara barely says anything, but Angie still manages to make fun of her. I don't speak to Angie much. Recently, Zara's brother passed away. Angie's husband, Bill, knew his partner and wanted to pass on his condolences. Zara, Angie, Bill, and I all wanted to attend his wake. Instead of taking separate cars, Angie suggested that we all go together. To be honest, I was not a huge fan of this idea. It was a 2-hour drive from where we live to our destination. Also, we were planning on leaving very early so that we could help set up, and were planning to leave late. We still managed to do it. At first, everything was alright. Understandably, no one was speaking in the car and it was very quiet in the car. Most people were keeping to themselves or sleeping. Midway through the drive, Angie and Bill start making out in the back seat of our car. When I say making out, I mean, full-on, making out. They were pushing up against the car door and making all sorts of noises. Zara and I were extremely uncomfortable. I pulled over and started yelling at Angie. I told them that I was disgusted by their behavior and that they were acting like horny little teenagers. Angie said that they were grieving. I yelled at them to get out of my car. At first, they were protesting, but I was so angry and so tired of them already. I told them to find their way home by themselves. My parents think that I went too far with them and that Zara needs to loosen up in order to be a part of this family. Obviously, Angie and Bill are still extremely pissed. I have a stepsister, Lily. We both finished high school, different school system here, this summer. We both want to attend university next year and are currently doing other stuff and still living at home. Lily is my stepdad's daughter. They moved in with Mom and me 2 years ago. My ex-boyfriend Daniel of 3 years and I planned on applying to the same, pretty prestigious and expensive, Uni A and want to study the same subject. so we still would have been able to be close to each other and continue our relationship. Daniel, Lily and I all attended the same school, and at our prom night I caught them making out in the back. I was, of course, devastated. Daniel tried to apologize to me and to work things out, but I don't think he can make up for this betrayal, and I ended things. Since then him and Lily are together. I sometimes cheat them fucking at our place. None of my business anymore. We luckily don't share a room. Daniel however still plans to apply to Uni A, while I don't, because of him being there. I found another great uni that will accept me, I know, because it only depends on the GPA, and isn't as expensive. Therefore I will only need a small part of my college fund. My mom set this fund up with my dad, and because they both earn pretty good money, it has enough money for multiple years at whatever uni I'd like. Meanwhile Lily has almost no money saved up for college, cause her parents didn't set up a fund in time. Now the issue, Lily now wants to attend Uni A to keep the relationship with Daniel, but doesn't have enough money, without taking a large loan. Therefore she asked me for almost my whole fund, since I won't need it anymore. I don't want to, because I have other purposes for me money. But she and stepdad are calling me a selfish brat that isn't capable of sharing. My mom says, it's my money and I get to decide what to do with it. Daniel recently also started texting me and pressuring me into giving Lily my money, so they can stay together. Am I in the bad here for not giving Lily the money, even though I didn't necessarily need it, but she does? My girlfriend always complains and literally cries sometimes about her job, which hasn't been a problem until recently. My brother, who I was extremely close to, passed away unexpectedly about 2 weeks ago. I've barely been holding it together and have been a complete mess, so about a week ago he had his funeral and my girlfriend can't make it because her boss won't let her take the day off of work, which is totally fine and I understand. She meets up with me after work like an hour after the funeral and starts crying almost immediately. She starts venting to me about how much she hates her boss and her schedule and how bad of a day she had at work. Meanwhile my whole world feels like it's completely falling apart and a piece of my heart was ripped out of my chest. After she's done rambling about work I asked her, why does everything have to be about you? I permanently lost one of the closest people in my life and you're so selfish that you can't even spare me one day of your trivial problems. She stops crying, gets mad and drives home and texts me, you're an asshole. Am I the asshole for calling my girlfriend selfish for crying after my brother's funeral? Edit, definitely won't be able to respond to everyone, was only expecting a couple replies. Common question is if this is reoccurring behavior, which it is and extends beyond her work, but it doesn't really bother me on a day-to-day basis. I don't think her problems are actually trivial, I just felt like it was a total lack of awareness of the relativity of our two situations. I have two sons, Samuel and Alex. Samuel has a son Adrian and Alex has a son Neil. Samuel earns a lot more than Alex, and this summer he decided to send me to a vacation as a gift for my birthday. While I was there I bought a souvenir for Neil, but since Samuel was the one who sent me to this vacation I decided to buy several more souvenirs for Adrian. After I got back I gave their souvenirs to my grandsons and I could see that Neil looks upset. Later I heard Neil and Alex talking and Alex explained to him that I gave Adrian more gifts because his dad gave me the money for this vacation. Neil didn't say anything to me, but he looked a little sad the entire time. Later that night Alex told me I'm an asshole for not treating them equally. I have two sons, Samuel and Alex. Samuel has a son Adrian and Alex has a son Neil. Samuel earns a lot more than Alex, and this summer he decided to send me to a vacation as a gift for my birthday. While I was there I bought a souvenir for Neil, but since Samuel was the one who sent me to this vacation I decided to buy several more souvenirs for Adrian. After I got back I gave their souvenirs to my grandsons and I could see that Neil looks upset. Later I heard Neil and Alex talking and Alex explained to him that I gave Adrian more gifts because his dad gave me the money for this vacation. Neil didn't say anything to me, but he looked a little sad the entire time. Later that night Alex told me I'm an asshole for not treating them equally.